Hi folks, this is Richard Rodriguez from $1 Million Mindset. Today I'm going to show you how to use Screencast-O-Matic. I'm going to show you kind of an in-depth review on how to use it. I'm going to show you some screenshots of it, and some of them aren't going to look as great because they're going to be with a different camera as opposed to my normal DSLR. But I am going to kind of show you how to use it, and I want to show you the ins and outs on how to use Screencast-O-Matic. It's the one that I mostly use. I have a couple of other programs that I use as well, but the one that I use the most is going to be Screencast-O-Matic. That's going to be my choice mostly, at least for right now until I change things. So remember, on my channel we talk about motivation and mindset. Now if you're new to my channel, I appreciate you coming to my channel. Give me a thumbs up and click the subscribe button and click that notification bell to be notified of any future videos that I make. If you're returning to my channel, I appreciate you watching. Thanks for coming by and welcome back. And so on my channel, what I do is I talk about how to make money, a passive income to replace your full-time income job. So if you want to know how to make a full-time income, take a look down below. I'm going to have a link that tells you how to make a full-time income so you can replace that 9-to-5, so you can be free of that 9-to-5, so you could do the things that you've always wanted to do. You can go out to the beach, you can go out fishing, you can go out on vacation and still make money while you're out there and not be having to worry about, I need to spend time at my job in order to make a living so I can make ends meet and pay my bills. Now I also discuss on my channel short-term ways on how to make money, for gas money, for snack money, for pizza money, for things like that. So I'm going to do both of these things on my channel for you. But for right now, I'm going to show you how to use Screencast-O-Matic, so stay tuned. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a secondary camera to record my screen. So I'm not only going to record what you see in the screen normally, I'm actually going to record what I see on the screen so you can actually get an idea how I edit video. So let's go right into it. Okay, welcome to Screencast-O-Matic. I'm going to show you how I get this done, how I do my initial recordings, how I do pretty much all my recordings. Very rarely do I use another program. I mostly use Screencast-O-Matic, but I do other programs in order to help me out sometimes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you an in-depth review. So I'm going to use two cameras. I'm going to use my main DSLR, which is the one you see me on here, and then I'm going to of course use the secondary camera, which is the one you see here. And the second one is going to show you my view of everything, not just your view of everything. So when you go into Screencast-O-Matic, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're at the max time. You don't want a time limit on your video. You want your videos to be able to record as long as you want them to record. Second thing you want to do is you want to look at the size of your video. I'm going to run this in 1080p. Now I can run it in different resolutions if I want, but I don't want to do that because I want it to be full screen and still look good when you watch it on YouTube. Now, YouTube actually reduces the quality of your video simply because of server space. They have to reduce the quality of your video. So the best video you can possibly get as far as resolution is what you want to post, because they're going to reduce it anyhow. So, alright, so you want to go at 1080p. Now next you want to go down to your narration. You want to make sure you're using the correct mic. In this case, I'm using my Yeti mic. It defaults to my Yeti, but I'm using my Yeti mic to do the recordings on this. You can use different mics, whatever mic you want to use. Plug in your mic. If it's USB, it'll recognize it in this program. And in this case, again, I'm using my Yeti mic. And you want to turn computer audio off. So if my computer makes noise, such as somebody sends me a text message or a message through Facebook or something like that, it won't come out on my recording. So I want to make sure I mute this. And now I am ready to record. So I'm going to go ahead and start a recording, and of course I'm going to mess up like you normally do. And then I'm going to show you how to do my cutting and editing. Okay, let's go. Okay, it's going to count down, tells me when it's ready. It's like, you know, the person on stage. 3, 2, 1, you know, that kind of thing. Alright, so I'm recording, and I want to show you my blue lights over here. You see my blue light? Oh, look, I'm pointing in the wrong spot. I'm going to have to cut that out. Let's start this over again. Okay, I'm recording, and you see my blue... Oh, and cut that out. Okay, I'm recording here, and you see... Okay, now, what I usually do is I practice. Say, if I'm going to point at my blue light, this is about where my hand needs to be standing right there, right? Okay, so I'm going to go like this. Alright, so I'm going to show you my blue lights. I messed up. And... over my head, that's the one. Okay, I'm going to show you the blue lights that I have here and the blue lights that I have here. This is the way I'm going to get this done, and blah 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 blah. Okay, so now I'm going to pause it because I've made that recording. and I am going to hit done and finalize that recording, or I want to end that recording, right? Okay, now it's going to pop up this screen. I'm going to go ahead and hit edit. Now if it doesn't pop up the screen, just click somewhere over here and the screen will pop up. Cancel out. See, if it doesn't show you like this, click somewhere over here and, well, the screen usually comes up. Oh, it's still here. This is what it looks like when it's reduced. It's still here. So let me hit done. Okay, now, oh heck, it's not doing what I want to do, which is something I'm going to cut out, or I would cut out normally, but I'm going to leave that in here for the purposes of this video. So what I would want to do is, say I want to do some cutting and editing, but first I want to find out where I'm going to cut and edit. So I'm going to hit play. Now I'm going to reduce the volume here so it won't overshadow me. Okay, so you see I'm pointing in the wrong spot over and over again. What I want to do is I want to cut those things out. So if I want to cut those out, what I want to do is I want to go back to where I was. Now, you can use your mouse and go back and hit the play button, but I like to hit the space bar. Space bar plays it as well, right? So let's go to the beginning before I pointed in the wrong spot. Okay, when I say blue lights over here, that's about where I want to be, right? And that's right about here. Now I want to make this larger so I can see it easier, so I can cut and edit, and I won't cut out words, or I won't cut out a couple of syllables in a word. So I'm going to go to the right and I'm going to hit the positive button. Now you have 3 different levels of zoom. I'm going to go to at least the middle zoom here. You see how the words, you can see the little in between me saying a word or a syllable, see a little space where there's dead air, right? So let's go to the beginning of this one here, and I'm going to hit the space bar. Okay, right about here I think is where I want to be, so let's try it again. Okay, the word blue lights is right, blue, and that's lights. So right about there is where I want to stop, okay? So let me zoom out because I want to see the full scope. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, not the full thing. So that's where I want to be, and I'm going to hit, I usually use the keyboard for this. I'm going to hit the C button. Now you could also hit cut with your mouse, but I'm going to hit the C button. Now, the right, left, up, and down arrows, I usually use those in order to move. And if you see how it stays highlighted in red right here, that's because that's where it's going to erase. So I'm going to go ahead and move it over. If you can see me on the screen, you can see my hand moving, and that kind of gives you an idea of what I want to cut out, right? So I'm pointing in different spots. Okay, right, no, I want to keep cutting, I want to keep cutting. I want to cut till I am right about this spot right here. So then I just hit enter and it cuts it all out. So let's hit play again. Now that's how you cut. That's how easy it is for you to cut. Now let's do something else. We figured out how to cut now. We can go ahead and do something else. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete that particular recording. I don't need that particular recording. And I am going to come up here after I've deleted it, and I am going to hit record, and I'm going to start a new recording. And sometimes I like to do, when I do my videos, I like to cut edit, or jump edit, and I like to do something like this. I like to change it up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and record me saying something like this. 3, 2, 1, right? So that's as easy as it is done. Oh, nope, don't like the way I said that. Okay. So that's how easy it is done. And then I'm going to hit stop there, right? Now, don't hit stop immediately as soon as you finish the word, because then you'll have to cut it immediately when you do that. And if you cut it, it won't sound right because the syllables won't completely come out. So let's make sure that I didn't cut myself off. Okay, I turned my eyes a little too soon. Let's not go with that one. Let's start that over. Okay, here we go. Now that's how easily it is done. Okay, you notice I stood still for a second, and then I didn't want the click of me clicking the mouse to come out on the camera, or the sound to come out on the mic, so I waited about 3 or 4 seconds to give myself a little bit of time, and then I clicked it to stop it. So let's watch this again. Let's turn the volume up just a little bit here. Okay, That's great. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say save that. Now, if I want to save that, again, I am going to hit the video file. I'm going to put it underneath recording, even though sometimes I misspelled this like I misspelled earlier. It's not a big deal because people don't see it on the outside. So we're going to call this 2 because it's the second half, right? And we are going to want to drop it in that folder. So we're going to go and hit publish, and it's going to drop it in that folder. Since it's such a small file, it records it really quick. Okay, so it dropped it in that folder. Now I'm going to go ahead and start the recording again. So I'm going to go up here and hit record. Now again, remember, make sure your mic is fine. Now if you can see your voice going up and down on here, you know it's at least recording. And just highlight it. I don't even have to click it, and it tells me I'm on my Yeti mic. Now again, it'll say either default mic or Yeti mic. In my case, because I made sure my Yeti was the default. So I'm going to go ahead and hit record, but I don't want to record in the exact same fashion. Now I have a DSLR, and it has a lens on it where I can zoom in and zoom out. So I get to do this, or I get to do that, or I can even change out my lenses. That's the beauty of my DSLR. But in this case, I kind of like it right about here. And I have it on a swivel arm. I kind of custom built the mount for it. And I want it right about there. So I'm going to go ahead and hit record, and let's see if we can get a little bit farther. This video is done. And 3, 2, 1, and can start recording, right? So you can even start messing up on this, because I'm going to cut all this out, right? Okay, so let's do the recording. Alright, so that's how easily this is done. Now, you're going to find out that the more you use it, the better you're going to get. Okay, I'm going to cut that part out, right? Okay, so that's how easily this is done. You're going to find out the more you use it, the better you get. And you become more and more comfortable speaking to camera. If you look back at my earlier videos, you're going to find out that when I spoke on camera, I spoke a little bit robotically. I didn't speak like I was speaking to a friend or I was speaking to a colleague. I spoke like I was speaking to a camera, like I was, stage fright, and I had stage fright. I don't want to speak like that. I want you to learn how to speak clearly so you don't speak like that either. A lot of people who start off in the YouTube creation start off speaking like that. But if you get to the point, and you're going to see on some of the people who've made 1,000 videos or more, you're going to see that they speak nice and eloquent and they speak nice and clear. This is probably about the 110th video I've made. I haven't made a lot of videos, but I'm kind of starting to speak a little bit more eloquently on camera, and I speak a little more at ease on camera. And that's what it's all about. Okay, so now I'm done there, and I know that I did a good recording, a good solid recording. I made 2 mess ups. I'm going to have to go ahead and correct those. So let's go back and correct those, right? You see that huge gap right there. Now, when I make a mistake, what I do is I leave a gap in between that mistake and the actual final cut. That way it makes it just that much easier. Excuse me. That's something excuse me, that's something that you would want to cut out. Obviously, you don't want to cough on camera, right? So I know this is around where I want to make my cut. So let's just jump straight to here and hit play, just to verify. Okay, that's excellent. So that's where I want to cut it. So I can hit C. No, I'm on an edit. I got to be on edit, right? Okay, I can hit C. Now I don't want to cut all the way to the syllable. I want to cut just before it. So I'm going to hit that little arrow and see how the red is only to the left half. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that part out. Now I know I want to cut the rest of the talking out over here. So I'm going to hit cut again. And of course I use my mouse instead of my keyboard. And I'm going to drag the actual line. I can drag the line, the red line. I can drag the red line, right? Not the white line. Drag it, and then I'm going to hit enter, or just hit the mouse, and it'll cut it. Now I still have a little bit of space there. Now let's see if that space is going to work for me. I'm going to hit play. Okay, so this is... Yeah, I don't want that space there. So let's go back, and I'm going to put the white line on the red line. And I'm going to hit C, and I'm going to arrow to be a little bit more precise. I'm going to arrow over. I want to be really precise. So let's go to maximum zoom. See how much further away I'm away? Now it's going to jump faster because I'm on maximum zoom. So I'm going to go right there, and I'm going to hit enter. And let's hit play and see where we're at. Okay, so that's how easy. No, I still don't like it. Let's start from over here. Let's hit cut or hit C and go all the way to the beginning. And now I'm going to hit enter. Let's hit play again. So that's how easily this is done. You're going to find out the more you use it, the better you get. And you become more and more comfortable speaking to camera. If you look back at my earlier videos, you're going to find out that when I spoke on camera, I spoke a little bit robotically. I didn't speak like I was speaking to a friend or I was speaking to a colleague. I spoke like I was... Okay, that sounds pretty good. So that's so you can also use Screencast-O-Matic if that's your choice. Now, there's other ways to use other programs. I'm not going to go over them on this particular video, but that's how you use Screencast-O-Matic. That's the one that I normally use. Now, the jump edit that you see, that takes a little bit more time. For example, you don't want to see me doing that to my nose, right? So I don't want you to see that either. So what I would do is I'd cut that out. And the next time you see me, I'm going to be in another spot. And I do that on purpose. I jump from spot to spot. Or I might do something like this. And you'll see that from take to take. And this is a good example right here. I jumped to another spot. It almost looked like it was an instant thing, right? Now you can see I'm zoomed in. I do these things on purpose because it catches the eye. Sometimes I actually change shirts that I'm wearing, and then I change my angle because I kind of like to do those things. I like to kind of change things up. Although in this case I didn't change my shirt, did I? So that's how easy it is to use Screencast-O-Matic. I'm going to put a link down below so you can... I'm going to put a link down below to Screencast-O-Matic. You can also use Screencast-O-Matic if that's your choice. Now, there's other ways to use other programs. I'm not going to go over them on this particular video, but that's how you use Screencast-O-Matic. That's the one that I normally use. Now, the jump edit that you see, it takes a little bit more time. For example, you don't want to see me doing that to my nose, right? I don't want you to see that either. So what I would do is I cut that out. And the next time you see me, I'm going to be in another spot. I do that on purpose. I jump from spot to spot. Or I might do something like this. And you'll see that from take to take. This is a good example right here. I jumped to another spot. It almost looked like it was an instant thing, right? And you can see I'm zoomed in. I do these things on purpose because it catches the eye. Sometimes I'm actually to the eye. Sometimes I actually change shirts that I'm wearing, and then I change my angle because I like to do those things. I like to kind of change things up. Change things up. Although in this case I didn't change the shirt, did I? And the way I achieved all of that was in one take. It's simple to do all that in one take. You can do that in multiple takes, but you don't have to do that in multiple takes. What you could do is do it like this. If there is a bunch of silence, what you're going to do is you're going to see a huge amount of silence on your editing, and then you could just get anywhere in the silence with that white line, hit C, and it will highlight the entire silence. Hit Enter, it'll drop off the entire silence. It'll bring the video together, and then you're going to see a whole bunch of jump edits. This is a good example. Right now I'm standing right here and I'm talking to you with this camera view. Now I'm changing my camera view to right here, and I'm saying now my camera view has changed. And I like it like this because it kind of gives you a little bit of a sense of I need to pay attention because he's jump, right? Okay. Now I'm going to move my camera and I'm going to move it right here, and I'm going to zoom in on my right ear a little bit, right? So this is the way you zoom in. I haven't stopped at all. This is one long recording, right? Now, if you keep, like I said, silence in between, then you'll have those jumps. And I'm going to show you how to do this right now, okay? All right, there was silence in between, and I'm going to move to another spot. so there was silence in between there, and I'm going to jump to another spot. And if you notice, I changed the lights back there, and I jumped to yet another spot. Now, if I cut all of these things and I edit them the proper way, it's going to look like one long video. So let me show you how that's done. And the way I achieved all of that was in between, then you'll have those jumps. And I'm going to make sure I have this next, okay? Okay, so you notice what I did was I actually just went ahead and jumped straight to where I see the silence. See how there's a silence right here? Okay, so I am going to hit C, and you notice how it highlighted all of the silence? Just hit enter. Then I'm going to jump to the silence again. I'm going to hit C, just hit enter. And I'm going to go to silence again, hit C, and hit enter. So this is what it's going to look like. Okay, alright, there was silence in between, and I'm going to move to another spot. Alright, so there was silence in between there, and I'm going to jump to another spot. And if you notice, I changed the lights back there, and I jumped yet another spot. Now, if I cut all... So you see how easily this is done in Screencast-O-Matic. Now, I'm going to go ahead and upload all this video, and I am going to bring it together. Remember, I'm recording here on two different cameras. I'm recording on the main camera where you see me pointing my fingers, and then I'm recording on the camera where you hear me right now. So I'm recording on two different cameras, so I'm going to have to upload that video, and when I upload that video, I'm just going to drop it here on my desktop. And after I'm done dropping on my desktop, I am going to go into Screencast-O-Matic, and it's going to look something like this. First I need to go ahead and save this. So I'm going to save this as recording. I'm just going to call it 3, and I'm going to go ahead and drop that in there. It's going to take a few moments. I'm not going to make you watch the entire thing. I'm going to fast forward it. So let me go ahead and upload all of this. I don't want to bore you with how I'm going to hook this up, upload it. But let me go ahead and upload all of this, and then I will show you me putting it all together. Alright, that was a longer video than I was hoping it would be. It doesn't look as good as I would like it to have been. Next time I make a video like that, I'm going to have a better setup. I'm going to need to make sure I set up a better camera view of it and make it flat instead of, fisheye. But you kind of get an idea of how to use Screencast-O-Matic. Now those overlays that you're going to see, some overlays that I've had in here that pop up on the screen, those are done if you go into edit, you click on edit, it'll actually ask you an overlay. You can do an overlay in text, or you can do an overlay in picture. Like you see, sometimes I have pictures pop up on screen, or I have words pop up on screen. You can do an overlay of that. Or you can do an overlay of arrows or a whole bunch of different little things on screen. You can pop up pictures on screen of other things that you want to illustrate. So there's a pretty much no limit to what you could do with this. It's also a jump edit. I kind of like to do jumps all over my screen everywhere I go. If you notice, the background changed. I'm pretty much in the same spot, but the background has switched a little bit. I like to do these things because it keeps people on their toes. I'm going to put a link down below to Screencast-O-Matic so you can also use Screencast-O-Matic if that's your choice. Now, there's other ways to use other programs. I'm not going to go over them on this particular video, but that's how you use Screencast-O-Matic. That's the one that I normally use. Now, the jump edits that you see, that takes a little bit more time. For example, you don't want to see me doing that to my nose, right? So I don't want you to see that either. So what I would do is I'd cut that out. And the next time you see me, I'm going to be in another spot. And I do that on purpose. I jump from spot to spot. Or I might do something like this, and you'll see that from take to take. And this is a good example right here. I jumped to another spot. It almost looked like it was an instant thing, right? Now you can see I'm zoomed in. I do these things on purpose because it catches the eye. Sometimes I actually change shirts that I'm wearing, and then I change my angle because I kind of like to do those things. I like to kind of change things up. Although in this case, I didn't change my shirt, did I? And the way I achieved all of that was in one take. It's simple to do all that in one take. You can do that in multiple takes, but you don't have to do that in multiple takes. What you could do is do it like this. If there is a bunch of silence, what you're going to do is you're going to see a huge amount of silence on your editing, and then you could just get anywhere in the silence with that white line, hit C, and it will highlight the entire silence. Hit enter, it'll drop off the entire silence. It'll bring the video together, and you're going to see a whole bunch of jump edits. this is a good example. Right now I'm standing right here and I'm talking to you with this camera view. Now I'm changing my camera view to right here, and I'm saying now my camera view has changed. And I like it like this because it kind of gives you a little bit of a sense of I need to pay attention because he's jump, right? Okay. Now I'm going to move my camera and I'm going to move it right here, and I'm going to zoom in on my right ear a little bit, right? So this is the way you zoom in. I haven't stopped at all. This is one long recording, right? Now, if you keep, like I said, silence in between, then you'll have those jumps. And I'm going to show you how to do this right now, okay? All right, there was silence in between, and I'm going to move to another spot. All right, so there was silence in between there, and I'm going to jump to another spot. And if you notice, I changed the lights back there, and I've jumped to yet another spot. Now, if I cut all of these things and I edit them the proper way, it's going to look like one long video. Alright, so that's how easy it is to use Screencast-O-Matic. It's not very hard. It's pretty easy. Once you get to start to using it, the more you use it, the better you're going to get at it. When I first started using it, I didn't know all the keyboard shortcuts, but now I know them, and I'm kind of flowing through everything faster, and it makes my editing a whole lot faster. Before, when I'd make a 3 or 4 minute video, it'd take me about an hour to edit it. Now it takes me about 20 minutes to edit it. So I've gotten faster, which is what you're going to do as well when you start using it more and more often. Now, this is a little bit tricky because I'm using two different cameras to record this. One, it's a good camera, but it's got a fisheye view, so you're going to see the screen, or so you already saw the screen, and it was bowed out. It didn't kind of look as good. This one is a flat camera. It's my DSLR. It's actually just going to film it nice and flat because I don't have a lens on it that'll give me fisheye, and I did that on purpose, right? So, but you have the fisheye and the other one, or what they would call a wide angle lens, an extremely wide angle lens. I think it's a 170-degree wide angle lens. But either way, that's how you use Screencast-O-Matic. So if you have any questions on how to use Screencast-O-Matic, put the comments down below, or you can just IM me. If you comment down below and ask me for my IM, I'll actually give you my IM as well. So that's how you use Screencast-O-Matic. But remember, if I've added any value to my video for you, please give me that thumbs up. Give me the subscribe down below, and also give me that notification bell. I would appreciate it. Now remember, on my channel, I show you how to make money in the short term and in the long term. The long term, again, that link is down below. If you want to know how to replace that income so you can actually live the life of freedom and luxury that you've always wanted to live, which is what I'm working for right now, then that link is down below. I would appreciate it. Until next time, remember, our futures have not been decided yet, so make yours a good one.